One of my female students said that, you know, Chinese athletes, they usually get on the podium after winning a gold and talk about the motherland and how proud they are of their country and they're doing their best for the people, stuff like that. Whereas what Eileen Gu was saying is, I do it for myself. I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. Good afternoon. Eileen Gu. Gu Eileen. Is she Chinese? Is she American? Is she both? This semester I'm teaching Western culture to my students at Wuhan University here in China, and I thought it was a great opportunity to ask them about identity to get the semester started. So I asked them, well, I surveyed them. Eileen Gu, is she American? Is she Chinese? Is she both? And on one level, the answers didn't surprise me. And on another level, they totally surprised me. First, a little background. If you haven't been paying attention to the Olympics, Eileen Gu, she just won her third medal, 2 golds and a silver in half pipe and in freestyle. And oh my God, she's taken China by storm. She's born and raised in California. However, she spent, she says, about 25% of her life in China. Her mom is Chinese, her grandmother is Chinese, and she has really taken the Chinese personality and side of her identity to heart. She speaks fluent Chinese. I mean, really good. Summer, my wife says, it's fantastic. It's, you know, better than some natives she knows. And she's a phenom and a superstar in every sense of the word. She, in addition to her prowess as an amazing athlete, she's also a model. And if you haven't seen her on advertisements, it's because you haven't been looking. By one newspaper count I read, she is the spokesmodel for no less than 23 companies. And I'm sure that's way much more background information than you guys need. Like I said, if you're the type of person that would click on my video, you're the type of person that already knows her background. Having lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for about 10 years, my mother lives there, my brother lives there, sister-in-law, and now living in China, of course, I am rooting heavily for her. I rooted heavily for her. I enjoyed watching her, and I'm really happy for her success. From a, I was going to say an academic standpoint, but that's too hoity-toity. From a teacher's standpoint, particularly someone teaching Western culture, I thought she was the perfect jumping off point to talk about comparing Chinese and Western culture. Of course, I was interested in what my students thought, and I got some really interesting responses. Some of them, they were pretty much all rooting for her, and in the survey, in my last 2 classes, I had 57 students, and A was, is she Chinese? B, is she American? C, is she both? The results, think about it. Let's see if I can remember this. Yeah, 38 said Chinese. 19 said both. And 0 said American. For this 18-year-old born and bred in America, lives there, will go to school there. Yeah, fascinating, huh? As for the responses, I got a lot of, she is Chinese in her heart. And a lot of, if she feels she's Chinese, then she's Chinese. And she chose to compete for us during the Olympics. So that really shows us that she believes in China and she loves China. I started by showing them this quote of hers from the press conference after she won her first gold medal. She said, "When I'm in America, I'm American. And when I'm in China, I'm Chinese." I asked them about that. One thing that a few of the students pointed out in my two classes that day was that they can tell her personality is American, her confidence, which was really interesting to me because the fact, I can tell that she's an American personality as well. And I would point to her outgoingness, her confidence, but I didn't necessarily expect my students to point that out because, they're at a fine university in China and they're obviously confident in what they do, but it's different. One pointed out that it wasn't just the way she carried herself, but the words she said in the press conferences, both in English and Chinese. One of my female students said that, Chinese athletes, they usually get on the podium after winning a gold and talk about the motherland and how proud they are of their country and they're doing their best for the people, stuff like that. Whereas what Eileen Gu was saying is, I do it for myself. I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm paraphrasing here. And my students said that no Chinese would ever say that. Another pointed out the sophistication of that quote that I gave. I'm American when I'm in America, Chinese when I'm in China. He said that that is the perfect answer. That way, nobody could be angry with her. She's clearly, as my students pointed out, if not unique, then, definitely one in a million. To have that kind of talent, to have the biracial background, to be an American in the sense that she grew up there, but to choose, they really appreciated that she chose to compete for China. That seemed to be so important in the responses I got. And as one of my students pointed out, and she won. If she had just been a flame out, there certainly wouldn't have been Eileen Gu mania, except for the fact she had her 23 product sponsorships and modeling gig and stuff like that well before the Olympics even started. I mean, she was a world champion. I know I butchered the names of the events that she competed in. This kind of skiing is still new to me. But I just want to point out how remarkable her 2 golds and a silver is. It's one thing to win an Olympic gold. It's another thing facing whatever pressure must have been on her once she came to China. I mean, it's one thing to win a gold in a neutral country, and it's another thing to win in your home country, to win in your chosen adopted country. I mean, that's just amazing. Anyway, the Olympics end this weekend. As you can see here in Wuhan, it seems like winter ended. Well, actually, it ended today. We had snow a couple days ago, although none of it stuck, which was sad. But I think today is the turning point, end of winter, I'm praying, and beginning of springtime. I'm really looking forward to it, getting rid of this big, beautiful, very warm jacket. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to end this video now. I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, please press the like button. Share it with people you know who might be interested. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. All right, thanks. Take care. See you next time.